Yo guys, it's Slyroh. You already know that today I'm bringing you guys my team analysis video for week 2 of the Pokemon Premier League. This week we are taking on Shroomraver and the Parasect Germain. Now, we do have quite a bit of history against the Parasect Germain, but both matches against them have resulted in losses, so we definitely need to try and change that this season. So, we're going to go ahead and try and do that the best we can. I have built, I think, the best possible team that I could have. This was very, very difficult in terms of having team matchup. This is probably the least confident I've felt about a game versus Shroom since in all the times that I battled him. I think this is probably the toughest team matchup for me, but I did the best that I could to try and make a good team. So let's go ahead and just get into it. Any of the details about other things in the league will be covered in the battle. This video is, of course, just for the team analysis. So, the mons that Shroom has to choose from includes Latias, Sylveon, Mega Scizor, Krookodile, Jellicent, Blaziken, Weezing, Tornadus Eye, Electabuzz, Tangela, and Noctowl. And of course, I have selected the 6 that I do think that he will bring, which is Sylveon, Mega Scizor, Krookodile, Blaziken, Weezing, and Tornadus Eye. However, there aren't a lot of bad brings for him. Some are just better than others. But I don't really see any of these mons not coming. I don't really expect Noctowl, and I don't really expect Tangela. But besides that, anything could really come. I don't really expect Electabuzz, but I could see how it would put in work. So, that's a pretty scary team, and I focused this team a lot around being able to switch in to his stuff, but trying also to have offensive output. The problem with this team is that he does have a lot of switch-ins to my stuff as well, meaning that it's going to be really difficult to break his entire team down, but I'm hoping to give him the same challenge as well. So, first mon with the incomplete EV spread, I don't really know what happened. This is supposed to be a specially defensive Arcanine. Max HP, max special defense, careful nature of the remaining 4 in attack, leftovers, intimidate, Flare Blitz, Crunch, Will-O-Wisp, and Morning Sun. Pretty along the lines of what I usually bring. This is actually the same moveset as last week with Will-O-Wisp instead of Toxic and just a different EV spread. This whole team in general, I have 5 of the same mons from last week, but a lot of different brings, and you'll see what I mean. So this is kind of my specially defensive switch-in. Shroom has a lot of special attackers, being Latias, Sylveon, Jellicent, Weezing, technically Tornadus Eye, Electabuzz. Like, they're all special attackers. Like, Blaziken has the potential to be mixed, though I don't expect it to. So this specifically can switch into Latias and Sylveon, and can switch into Weezing, and Tornadus Eye. It doesn't really want to be taking too many Hurricanes, but it is there if I need it to be. Also with the Intimidate, I could potentially switch into things like Blaziken, depending, as well as Mega Scizor. This also works as a switch into Mega Scizor. So I hope to be able to switch into special attackers and be able to Will-O-Wisp any physical attackers that might try and come in. If I can catch like a Krookodile or something, that'd be cool, though he might not risk that, but you know, we'll see what we can try and do. Blaziken can switch in on this thing semi-freely. Flare Blitz does like 30 to 40% to a Blaziken, which is still decent damage. He doesn't have a lot of great switch-ins to a Flare Blitz, so that's what's awesome. Crunch hits a few things that can take Flare Blitz a little bit better, being basically Latias and Jellicent. So, and then Morning Sun plus leftovers just to kind of stay as healthy as I possibly can. So Arcanine is probably one of the biggest threats to his team. However, if I run it offensively, he can take it out and revenge it very easily. So I want to try and keep this thing around for as long as possible. So next mon, Kim Jong-un, the Lantern. Leftovers, Volt Absorb, Scald, Volt Switch, Heal Bell, Hidden Power Fire, 244 HP, 156 defense, 108 special defense with a Calm Nature. Now, I will say that the other 5 mons were settled on fairly quickly. The 6th mon slot was the most difficult for me to decide. I originally wanted to go with Weavile. Weavile hits half of Shroom's team really hard, however does absolutely nothing to the other half of Shroom's team. And the half of Shroom's team that I'm expecting him to bring kind of shuts down Weavile, so I decided against that. Then I almost brought Mega Altaria. I wanted to bring a Cotton Guard Mega Altaria to deal with his physical attackers, and I would be able to. However, things like Sylveon and Latias would still be able to do a lot of damage, and Weezing, and I just didn't have the move coverage to run that set effectively. And eventually, I decided that one of the threats that I was kind of overlooking was Tornadus-Eye. I didn't really have too many switch-ins for it. Arcanine kind of could, but with Arcanine also wanting to switch into basically half his team, Arcanine will end up getting worn out really quickly if I don't have other things to also switch in. So I decided to bring Lantern. This Lantern set does basically shut down Tornadus-Eye. Hurricane does like 20%. Like modest Life Orb Hurricane does like maybe 30. It's pretty crazy. And then with the mixed defenses that I have, even things like Knockoff and U-Turn do absolutely nothing. I do have 2 Intimidate users against a Defiant Mon, as Tornadus-Eye does get Defiant. However, its physical move pool doesn't do that much against my team, so I'm not super worried about that. He might bring Defiant just to kind of make me think that he's going to be physical, but honestly, a special Tornadus-Eye set runs through my team a whole lot more than a physical one will. If that comes back to bite me, then it comes back to bite me. We'll see. But I'm pretty confident that that's what it will be. Hurricane, I don't have that many switch-ins, and Lantern really doesn't do a lot to Shroom's team, so I don't think he's going to be expecting this. Lantern really does not hit a lot of things that hard. It does, but it doesn't. With a mixture of Scald and Volt Switch, the only things I really hit at all are Krookodile, Jellicent, Blaziken, Tornadus-Eye. So, we'll see. Plus, Scald Burns are a thing on something like Mega Scizor. I also have Hidden Power Fire, which is a 2-hit KO on a Mega Scizor. Unless it's specially defensive, then it's not. Then it's a 3-hit KO. But I have switch-ins to Mega Scizor. I also have switch-ins to Krookodile. So, basically what I'm trying to do with this Lantern is just to be able to get momentum. Shroom has a lot of ways to get momentum for his side. Things like U-Turn on Mega Scizor and Tornadus-Eye. Could be running Baton past Sylveon. There's plenty of ways. Volt Switch, Electabuzz. There's ways for him to get momentum, and I want a way for me to get momentum. So I am bringing Volt Switch. The only thing that he could switch in to take a Volt Switch is the Krookodile, and then he's risking taking a Scald. And like I said, I have a Krookodile switch in, so it isn't the biggest deal. So, we'll have to see. Heal Bell, just in case he brings some sort of status, if he gets some sort of Toxic off, like an Arcanine or anything like that. I really want, especially Arcanine, to be around for as long as possible, and I'd like Lantern to stay around for as long as possible. I'm only going Volt Absorb because I really don't expect Jellicent, and I would expect. There was another reason. Maybe not. I don't think it really matters. I could stop Volt Switching shenanigans if I really wanted to, but I don't think there's going to be any sort of like electric or water type moves that really get brought to this match, so it doesn't really matter which ability I brought. But either way, it should be good there. The EV spread was made to be able to take on Tornadus-Eye as best as possible. I can also take certain hits from Blaziken. It just depends. I have to predict well. Same thing goes with Mega Scizor. It really just depends on the move that he goes for, and depends on if he's offensive or defensive, things like that. So yeah, and I think this also helps if he is a max special attack but not specs or anything. Sylveon, I believe I can take 2 Hyper Voices. I don't remember. I don't really have much to hit it back though. So basically, I just want to get momentum into other things that can do more damage to his team, and that's the rule that I decided would be important this week. Speeding things along, we have Mettaton, Bronzong, Leftovers, Heat Proof, Stealth Rock, Psychic, Gyro Ball, Hidden Power, Fire, Max HP, 180 Special Defense, Sassy Nature, and 76 Speed. Also have the 2 Speed IVs to make sure that it's Hidden Power Fire. So that's 2 Speed IVs to make sure it's Hidden Power Fire with the other thing. So that's pretty interesting that had to happen. This also works as a Sylveon switch-in as well, as this is my main direct counter to Weezing. Weezing actually is really difficult for my team to take out. I don't have a lot of great psychic coverage, Bronzong being my psychic type. Now I still can 2-hit KO. I have a chance to 2-hit KO a specially defensive Weezing, I believe, with this investment, unless I was a physically defensive one. I think it was specially defensive though. Stealth Rocks are going to be important because I think there is going to be a lot of switching around. And if he does bring things like Blaziken and Tornadus Eye, it would be great to wear those things down. His 2 hazard removals are Latias and Mega Scizor. Latias, I would expect to be more of the defogger role if Mega Scizor shows up. I don't think it's going to be a defog one, so he might risk not bringing hazard removal, but he might. So we'll have to see. And of course, if he goes for defog on Mega Scizor, that just gives me so many free switch-ins. So that's awesome. I would actually prefer it if he did that. So Stealth are just going to be important. Gyro Ball hits a lot of his faster things for some pretty decent damage. I think it does. I think it's 2 KO on Sylveon. So should be good. Leftovers. Heat Proof is... Why did I have Heat Proof? For the Weezing, for like Flamethrower, things like that. This is basically meant to come in on Weezing and then get Stealth Rocks up as he switches into one of the many things that can take on Bronzong. I also have Hidden Power Fire, which is a chance to 2 KO a Mega Scizor. Unless it's special defensive, then it's not. 2 things that you're going to notice a lot on my team. There's a lot of Leftovers, and there's a lot of Hidden Power Fires. That's just the way it is. It's the way it had to be. But, yeah, I just don't really, I don't know, I guess I do have a lot of prep for Mega Scizor, so if it does show up, I just want to make sure that it doesn't do too much damage, because offensively it can put in the hurt. So, next mon, Nando, Roserade, Life Orb, Technician, Giga Drain, Hidden Power Fire, Sludge Bomb, Extra Sensory. This is one of 2 offensive threats on my team. Max Special Attack, 180 Speed Timid with 76 HP. This speed allows me to outspeed a Max Speed Blaziken. Although, I'm thinking he might bring Scarf Blaziken, because I have a Weavile. So he could do that, but he might not. He might try and run like an agility set like he did last week against Alex. I know that he really wants Blaziken to put in work, so if he feels like he can do any sort of work, he is going to bring it, and that's going to be scary. So, Blaziken is definitely a thing to look out for. With this coverage, I can hit basically everything on Shroom's team for a lot of damage. I don't think I can 2 KO the Latias, I don't remember. Sludge Bomb is easily a 2 KO on the Sylveon. Hidden Power Fire, Okoth, Mega Scizor. I can live a Bullet Punch also if I need to. Giga Drain hits Krookodile, but Krookodile does outspeed. Giga Drain hits Jellicent, Extra Sensory hits Blaziken and Weezing. Sludge Bomb hits Tornadus Eye enough, though I wouldn't stay in on it. I would just have to catch that on a switch. Sludge Bomb also does enough to Electabuzz and Tangela. And knocked out. So, yeah, Life Orb, this is, like, again, one of 2 offensive threats on my team. I brought a very defensive team. But, yeah, I have Roserade. And, yeah, this is another way to possibly switch into Weezing if I think he's going to try and, like, toxic things. Or, you know, we'll see how that works. Any way for me to get into Roserade is going to be great. Like, this would be one of the things that I try and Volt Switch into, because this is going to be really hard for him to switch into. Next mod we have Eddie Gordo, the Hitmontop with Leftovers, Intimidate, Close Combat, Rapid Spin, Bullet Punch, Toxic, Max HP, Max Defense, Impish, 4 in attack. This is my Krookodile switch-in. Getting the Intimidate off is going to be really helpful. This can also switch into Blaziken, and besides that, it doesn't want to switch into too much more. I guess could switch into Mega Scizor, but then I don't have a lot to hit it back, so there really isn't any point. Close Combat almost takes out a Krookodile. I think because it's a defensive Hitmontop, I don't think it does, but that could also depend on if the Intimidate was in the calc or not. I don't remember. Either way, it's going to do a lot of damage. Toxic to get any of the things that are incoming. Of course, Weezing and Mega Scizor could come in because Hitmontop can't do a lot to either of them. So Toxic might not end up working on this. We'll see. Bullet Punch hits Sylveon for a solid like 40%, like 30 to 40%. That's like max HP. Not a defensive one though. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, Hitmontop works as a physical switch-in. Have Leftovers on this as well. So yeah, there's a lot of Leftovers. I didn't really realize that until I started chinning the team. But it's too late to turn back now. I think I need them. I need this team to stay alive for as long as possible. So that way I can weaken Shroom's team before he weakens mine. So, last mon is Deltamon the Hydreigon with Wise Glasses, Levitate, Draco Meteor, Dark Pulse, Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, Max Special Attack, 212, Speed, Timid, and 44 HP. This is really risky. This is enough to outspeed a Max Speed Krookodile, first off. Second off, I really want to play this thing like it's Scarfed. I thought of actually bringing a Scarfed Hydreigon, because then I could outspeed Tornado's Eye and do a lot of damage. I could also outspeed Latios and do a lot of damage. However, I really want the option to get a cheeky KO at some point. I really want to play this thing Scarfed. So I want to lull him into thinking that this is Scarfed, which, being timid, wise, glasses, you're not going to know. I could just be modest Scarf and it does like the same damage. But I do want a little bit of the damage output, as well as I really don't want to be locked into a single move against Shroom, just because he has switch-ins to everything. This game requires good predictions, and it just requires a lot of switching, getting the matchups I want, and things like that. So this is going to be really tough. So I do want to lull him into thinking that I'm Scarfed, and then when the opportunity arises, take out one of his big threats. You know, I'm really going to have to try. Try and predict Flash Cannon on Sylveon, and then just try and keep going for Flash Cannon until he switches something that in, you know, or I just want to play this like really Scarfed, and then if I can do that successfully, I could possibly get a solid KO. Plus, I would be able to hopefully try and figure out what is Scarfed in his team before, and yeah, there's just a solid chance that I could outspeed most of what he brings. With this set, I can hit everything on his team for a lot of damage. Draco Meteor for Latios, Flash Cannon for Sylveon, Flamethrower, Mega Scizor, Draco. Draco hits anything that doesn't resist it, basically. And Dark Pulse does a little bit more to Jellicent, plus I don't get the special attack drop. And yeah, that's basically covers everything. I can 2-hit KO basically everything, albeit you know, surprise assault vest things, or you know, yeah, or especially defensive like Sylveon, probably. I think that might be it. Maybe Noctowl. Noctowl could actually probably live 2 hits. So this is my other offensive thing. I needed a little bit more offense. Originally, I had basically an all defensive team, but now I have a little bit of offense with Hydreigon, Roserade, as well as Arcanine. While not being invested, still puts in some work offensively. Everything else is just to switch in and try and predict what he's going to switch into them, and just trying to keep momentum on my side as much as possible. So this is going to be a really tough game. We're going to do our best, and you can stay tuned for the battle that will be uploaded a little bit later today, hopefully. And yeah, so let me know what you think about the team. Let me know if you're supporting the Pittsburgh Pyroar, and I will see you in the battle. So thanks for watching, guys, and until the next time, stay safe.